Download links to the files created in this video will be in the description. Today I'm going to be making a Bishamon, I'm not sure of the pronunciation, it's Bishamon Kiko Sashiko pattern. So yeah, let's get to it. Let's start with a polygon. That's a 6-sided polygon, so a hexagon. So go to create stars and polygons, regular polygon, 6 corners, and let's go into the canvas, click and drag while pressing Ctrl so that the corner snaps vertically like that. And then let's switch to the select and transform tool, and we want to come to the width and height settings and lock the proportional scaling and set the width to 500. The width doesn't really matter, but you're gonna see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna scroll up and shift scroll to center it a bit, and control scroll to zoom in a bit. And next what I'm gonna do is shift, or you can do either go to object, fill and stroke, or Control Shift F. And I want to bring down the opacity to about 50%. And then I'm going to duplicate this hexagon. I'm going to click on it to select it again so that I'm sure that I'm out of the fill and stroke menu or fill and stroke toolbox. So once I've selected the hexagon again, I'm going to press Ctrl D to duplicate it, and then instead of the width being 500, I'm going to set the height to be 500. So I'm going to enter 500 in here, press enter, and then after that I want to copy this width, Ctrl C to copy that, and let's create a circle. Click and drag while pressing Ctrl so that we've got the sides at proportion 1:1. The proportion will show at the bottom of your screen. And then switch to the select and transform tool again, and then come to the width and height, and we want to paste in that value and press enter. Then I'm gonna delete the second hexagon, and then for this next step you need to make sure you've got your snapping enabled. So go to enable snapping, snap nodes, paths and handles, snap cusp nodes, snap smooth nodes, snap other, and lastly snap items rotation center. So you want to snap the rotation center of the circle to the rotation center of the hexagon, and then press Ctrl D to duplicate it, and Ctrl D to duplicate it again. So I'm going to leave 2 circles behind, and then the third circle I'm going to snap the center to the corner of the hexagon like that, Ctrl D to duplicate it again, and snap the center to the opposite corner, Ctrl D, and snap the center to the top corner. And I'm going to select these 3 outer circles. So press Shift, select this circle, and the top one on the third one on the top, and I'm going to combine these circles into one object. So I can either do Ctrl Shift plus on my keyboard or go to Path, Union, and I want to make sure that these are at the top. So in the select and transform tool, I want to make sure this is raised to the top, and I'm going to press Shift and select one of the circles in the middle, and then press Ctrl minus to subtract the 3 circles from the center circle, like that. And this is where the second circle comes in. So while this shape that we've created, this kind of Y shape that we've created is selected, let's select the circle too, and press Ctrl D to duplicate them. And then I want to come and snap this at the bottom corner, like that. So if I were to try to snap just the Y shape, it wouldn't snap on in the right position on its own. If I try and snap this on, so you can see like that. And if you look at this one, well, let's bring both of them together. Sorry. So I'm going to press Ctrl D to duplicate this and bring these two together. You can see they're snapping on in 2 different positions. I'm going to press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. So that's why I need both this Y shape and the circle. And Ctrl D and bring this down here. And once we've got these 3, we don't need the circles anymore as guides. So I'm going to select the 3 circles and delete them. Then select the 3 Y shapes and press Ctrl D to duplicate them. Click and drag and snap the bottom part here onto the top part of the other Y shape. If I double click on it, you'll see where the nodes are. We've got this node. Let me zoom in. This node at the top will be snapping with this node at the bottom. Let's switch back to the select and transform. Zoom out and select these 3. Ctrl D to duplicate. Click and drag. And zoom in so that they snap on. Snap on. And that's how many do we have? 3 of them. Okay, so we don't need the hexagon anymore, so I can click that and delete it. And I think we need one more set of Y shapes. We might need them. Let me just add them. Not sure. If there's too many, we can delete them later. And I'll bring these down here. I'm going to press Ctrl A to select everything. Come to my opacity, bring that to 100%. Change the fill to white. And I'm going to press Shift and click on black to give it a black stroke. And the stroke will be about 6.7 pixels. 6.7 pixels. Okay. Alright. Next, what I'm going to do is create a rectangle. I want it to start at the top center of this Y shape. Come to the center of this one and end at the top center of this Y shape. So if you're creating a pattern with just one color, this is what your single tile, this is going to be the size of your single tile. And let's remove the stroke. So up, press Shift and click on the X to remove the stroke there. And I'm going to select all of these and then press Shift to deselect the rectangle I've just created. I should have changed its color, but anyways, we can do that later. And then I'm going to group the Y shapes. Control G to group them, and then let's select the rectangle again, change its color so that we can see it, and Shift and click on the Y shapes, come to Object, Clip, Set, and that will be our single tile. And I'm going to press Control D to duplicate it, bring it to the side, and let's come to Object, Pattern, Objects to Pattern. And now that we've made it a pattern, if I double click on it and then bring this bottom handle up, and I made a mistake somewhere because some of the shapes are incomplete. Okay, let's go back and see what I did wrong. So we've got, alright, I see, I left out this shape, got left out. How did I leave it out? Alright, cool. We can press Ctrl Z a few times. And let's select all these. Some mistakes are gonna happen. We've got 3, 3, and 3. Okay, Ctrl G. Make our rectangle from this corner to this corner. And clip that, set, Ctrl D to duplicate, bring it to the side, Object, Objects to Pattern, and this time it should work. And time for the reveal. And that's our pattern. So this works if you're using a single color. If you want to do a multicolored tiled pattern, then you have to come back here and let's come to Object and disable the pattern, Object, release the clipping mask, and ungroup these, Control Shift G, and then add these 3 and group them again, Control G, and let's just move this to the side. In our group, I want to set the colors of the Y shapes so you can see what's going on. So I've selected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, and I'm going to set them to green. And I'll select these 3, set them to a pinkish reddish color, and select these 3 and set them to blue. And that's our group. And then bring back a rectangle and snap the bottom corner onto the center there, So this corner should snap onto the center of this Y shape, of the green Y shape. And select the rectangle again, disable proportional scaling, and come and bring this handle and snap it onto that corner at the top. And then shift and select the group of the Y shapes. Come to Object, Clip, Set, Object, Pattern, Objects to Pattern, double click, and let's bring that handle down and reveal our pattern. So there's a nice satisfying, let's move this away, and check out this nice satisfying interweaving. We've got the blue interweaving with the red, interweaving with the green, and that's basically the Bishamon armor pattern using Inkscape. If you like this video, give it a like. Questions, comments, and stuff in the comments section below, and again, download links also in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.